Account of Marianne Keller, aspiring actress. Summer 1966, Los Angeles. The day I got the call to work as an extra on Spinout, I thought I'd hit the jackpot. Sure, I'd only be a blurry face in the background of a beach scene, but I was going to be on set with Elvis Presley. Elvis Presley. The king himself. As a small-town girl from Bakersfield trying to make it in Hollywood, this was the closest I'd gotten to anything resembling stardom. I arrived on set at the crack of dawn, the sun still climbing over the hills. The location was a stretch of beach near Malibu, transformed into a sunny slice of fun and flirtation for the movie. The crew buzzed around like ants, adjusting lighting rigs, hauling cameras, and shouting instructions over the sound of waves. I was handed a bright yellow bikini and a pair of oversized sunglasses, beach chic, they said. I'd spent all week worrying about my figure, but no one batted an eye. By mid-morning, the principal cast began trickling onto the set. Shelley Fabares, Deborah Wally, and Diane McBain were all stunning, their hair and makeup flawless even in the heat. But the real commotion started when Elvis arrived. There's no way to describe his presence without sounding dramatic. He stepped out of his trailer in a tailored blue shirt, his famous pompadour gleaming in the sunlight, and suddenly it was like the entire set revolved around him. People stopped mid-conversation just to watch him walk. He had this effortless charm, smiling and nodding to the crew as he made his way to the director. I'd heard stories about how stars can be standoffish or aloof, but Elvis was nothing like that. During breaks, he'd joke around with the extras, even throwing a beach ball back and forth with some of us. When it was my turn to catch, I fumbled it, of course, but he just laughed and said, "Don't worry, darling. Happens to the best of us." I melted right there in the sand. The scene we filmed that day was a light-hearted montage of Elvis's character, Mike McCoy, performing with his band while everyone danced on the beach. The director, Norman Torog, gave us simple instructions, look like we were having the time of our lives. With Elvis singing Beach Shack just a few feet away, that wasn't hard to do. He performed the song over and over, strumming his guitar and flashing that iconic grin, while we swayed, clapped, and pretended to sip from our prop drinks. Between takes, Elvis would chat with the musicians or share a laugh with the cast. At one point, he sat down on a sand dune and started strumming his guitar casually, humming a tune I didn't recognize. A small group of us extras gathered around, listening in awe. It was a private little concert, just Elvis and a handful of strangers, and for a moment, he didn't seem like the biggest star in the world, just a guy who loved music. Not everything was glamorous, of course. The sun was brutal, and by the afternoon, we were all sweating through our costumes. The sand got everywhere, and the director was notoriously meticulous, demanding retake after retake to get the perfect shot. But no one complained, not even the crew. There was something about Elvis's presence that made everyone want to give their best. When the day finally wrapped, Elvis walked past our group of extras, giving us a little wave and a thanks, y'all, as he headed back to his trailer. I stood there grinning like an idiot, my cheeks flushed from more than just the sun. The final cut of Spinout came out a few months later, and I dragged all my friends to see it at the local drive-in. I spent the whole movie scanning the background for a glimpse of myself. There I was, 3 seconds of screen time, dancing awkwardly in the corner of the frame. It wasn't much, but it was enough. Years later, whenever someone asks me about my time in Hollywood, I always tell them about that day on the beach with Elvis. I never became a star, but for one perfect summer day, I got to share the screen with the king of rock and roll.